Hey everybody, it's IyaPatsy here, and I am finishing up a ritual that I started today. As a matter of fact, I think this entire day has been a ritual, including the events up until this very moment. So, I I was got a phone call this morning. I was talking to a family member, and she has been on a spiritual journey right along with me, and she's also been having some challenges, and she was able to reach out and get some professional mental health counseling, as have I, but more is needed um, on my side especially. But she's in the program and the whole nine, and I'm very, 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 very proud of her. And this is something that I may be seeking to do myself. But aside from that, um, but I had an intention of trying to do some type of a ritual release for myself for this whole situation that I'm dealing with in my life. Family, friends, and especially lovers, right? So I got an idea, and from I was watching a reading, and I forget the name of the channel, but her name is Cindy. She's so sweet, and she's from Canada. And so she was suggesting, you know, different ways to do release rituals, and she suggested, you know, using the leaves, and I thought that was pretty. I liked that one of all of the ones that she had suggested. And actually, she was just, like thinking about it, like making it up on the fly, just like I'm doing. Um, so what I did this morning is I gathered up leaves from a tree outside my house, and took a branch and cut it off, regular branch, and the leaves were still green, but they were on their way to turning. And then I picked up. Hold on one second. This is my mom. Okay. And that's another one. I haven't been talking to my family. I haven't been talking to my mother, my grandchildren, my cousins, anybody. I've just been like in hermit mode for most of the summer, up until now. And so anyway, I had decided I was going to get the leaves and write the names of people, relationships that were important, intimate relationships with men, and I was going to take each leaf and write the person's name on it. And I had to end up using the scripto because I figured it would stick better. But you can use anything because it's just a matter of the intention, right? Because you're going to burn it anyway. So I took each leaf and then I wrapped the stem of the leaf around it, and I just put them together and placed them in this, fireproof, fire safe, not fireproof, but a fire safe place. I didn't want to put it in a bowl or nothing plastic, nothing paper. I wanted something metal, like a pot. But I didn't want to do this with my ancestral offerings that I give them, joff money and that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be separate, because these people are not dead, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to clear my space. So I gathered all of those, and then I'm going to be 63 years old soon. So some folks, I might not have thought about in a long time. Some people I really may not even remember their names fully. And then there were people who, like the person that raped me when I was a little girl. And then recently, during this time, I was unfortunate enough to have experienced a date rape, which wasn't even a date, which just makes it even more disgusting, um, from a person who I thought I could trust, and apparently I couldn't. And so that was very recent. And I was, told that I just got to start all over again. And so the way for me to start all over again is to banish those experiences. And that is what I'm doing. And right now I'm just burning some salapanto over this. So what this bowl is actually is my dogs who have both passed away. But this is their old doggy bowls. And I kept them. And what a more perfect thing to use to do this ritual, I thought. And that song Casanova had been on my mind. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play Casanova, and I'm going to, do the ritual while I do it, and I'm going to do my prayers, and that's what I ended up doing. And that's what I have been doing. Now, this is going to not be so, it's not going to burn that quickly because these leaves were still green. They weren't dead yet, so they weren't as, easy to light and to hold on to the flame, right, as the dead leaves. Now, the dead leaves were, like I said, for the rapist and folks who weren't important, but just in case I miss anybody, I just put dead leaves, 9 of them, and crushed them up and mixed them in with the leaves that had the names of the people who were somewhat impactful. And not all bad, just the situations that ended up not being what they could have been or should have been at that time, or at least as I felt, right? So this is all subjective. This is all, rituals are just like, for me, more symbolic than anything, right? That's all. Everything is about intentions and symbolism. And I didn't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. I actually put protection incense in here also. So in other words, I just want everybody to I just want to release them from my energy and for them to release me from their energy, whether they know about it or not, or still here or not, or alive or dead or whatever, because I'm not really keeping up with people like that. And I added some thyme, THYME, and I thought that would because they wasted my time, or it was time wasted. And then I added some lemon pepper because, it was, lemon can be sweet, but it can also be sour and tart, and it can burn if you have an open wound. And pepper is the same, and pepper is black pepper. It's not like it's red pepper or anything like that. So it's not as impactful or not as hot as it could have been, as pepper could be. That was just my brain, and I just go by my intuition on a lot of these things. And then, like I said, I'm listening in the background to that song by Levert, and I'm basically talking back to the lyrics, right? So I didn't want to get demonetized if I decide to post this, so I am not playing the song right now, but I wanted to get the words so you could see. Now, this song was sung by Gerald Levert, and it was written by Reggie Calloway. And so the words are, I ain't much on Casanova, me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Can't you see how much I really love you? I'm going to sing it to you time and time again. And in my head, I was just like, yeah, me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Yeah, well, Romeo, at least he was expressive about his love. He actually was serious and sincere. Yeah, you and, yeah. Mm-hmm. You ain't never been friends with Romeo because Romeo was somebody who expressed himself and who was real with his love. Even though there were barriers and blockages, he had intentions, he did what he needed to do to try to be with his loved one, even if things didn't work out, right? So yeah, you ain't on that. You on the I want to sing it to you time and time again. I took that just as, the lies, the bullshit, the oh I love you, I want to be with you, you make a wonderful wife, why are you still single? I can't believe it. All of the nonsense. Oh I made a mistake, I should have been with you. Oh why didn't I meet you before? All of the nonsense that men say to women, all of those things. If you haven't heard it yet, you will. If you're single, right? And you might even hear it from men if you're married or in a relationship because they don't care. When they're interested, they'll say all kinds of things, and they're like Taliban. They'll wait. They'll take their time. Some of them, and others of them won't. Others of them are just greedy, disgusting, impotent rapists who want to, impose their power over people. It's not because they really want sex, or they know that all that they can do is have sex with somebody that doesn't want to have sex with them, and then say, oh well, because my women know how to keep secrets. No, it's not that the women want to keep secrets. It's like nobody want to talk about it because first of all, you're a rapist, and second of all, you're not even worth talking about because your shit wasn't even correct if you hadn't been a rapist. So I'm sure there are others out here of you who may, over the last year since you've been trying to maintain your celibacy, who may have run across these type of characters. Some of you were able to get away and others of you were not. Some of us were able to fight them off and some of us decided to just go with it. And other times people actually were drugged. Put things in your food and your drink and who knows. But it's okay because we're releasing all of that. Okay, I'm releasing all of that, and who's the culprit knows that they're the culprit, and it's okay. God is gonna fight those battles, not for me to watch you get your karma. I don't even care if you do or you don't. What I want to do is clear my energy of any of this negativity. So anyway, the next stanzas, it says, every man deserves a good woman and I want you to be my wife. And so in my mind, I'm listening to these words. I'm like, yeah, right. Time is so much better spent, baby, with a woman just like you in my life. Bullshit, right? Nonsense. Nonsense. Not saying that all men that say these things are lying. I'm saying that when you're dealing with these type of people, these narcissists, these Casanovas, these Romeos, whatever they want to call themselves, and they have no good intent. They got good words, they got good lines, and so I decided to just use this as a generalization. The song spoke to me, and I was like, okay. And then so the next few words say, so let me love you. Feel you up inside, I just want to hold you, baby. So let me squeeze you. Don't you know that I'll get down on my knees for you, baby? Yeah, one day. That's always the promise. Well, not always, but a lot of them, that was the promise. I'm going to marry you. I'm going to, or ask me to marry them, or married me, or I married them still. It was all bullshit because there was a second agenda. There was a hidden agenda. And the point of this all is knowing what I know now is that everything is part of the plan, right? All of these people, all of these experiences are part of what my life was supposed to experience, right? For whatever reason, and not to feel like I was a victim, but rather just be ready to release them, right? This was a protection incense box. I just figured I'd throw it in there since I was using the protection incense in this pot. And like I said, I'm not trying to hurt nobody, and I'm not trying to hurt myself. So I put thyme, lemon pepper, and olive oil just to help accelerate it burn, and a little splash of Florida water, and the incense cones, spiritual protection, and those like that. So that's what I've been doing. And like I said, it's not going to burn right away, as if the leaves were all dry, because that's just the way it is. There's still moisture in the leaf, but it'll, in a few days, or maybe even a few hours, it'll be enough to burn. And don't do these things with your fingers like I am. I've been cooking for years, so I kind of have a built-in potholders on some of my fingers sometimes, it seems. I've gotten a little immune to the heat. So anyway, and I was feeling pretty good, as I was doing this. I'm feeling better. I've been feeling better all week, and as soon as I lit the match, after I did the TikTok, I did a TikTok today too. It was my first TikTok. After I did the TikTok, as soon as I finished it, the phone rang, and it was my mother. And like I said, I haven't spoken to my mother almost all summer. Part of the, the work, part of the spiritual awakening, and acceptance and understanding of situations. And it was just like anything, we spoke, and it was fine. And she called me back. That was her that interrupted us just now when I was doing the video. So, she's been through a lot, just like every other woman, right? Just like all of us. And everybody just is trying to survive. And she did the best she could with the tools that she had, like I've always known and I've always said. But part of the, the spiritual journey is to look into these things, the dark sides of people that you love, and that could include your parents, and it does include your parents, as well as people that you have friendships with and relationships with. And I've just been amazed at this journey, and the things that I've learned about myself, and the things I've learned about my family, and my friends, and my relationships. And as difficult as it has been, and as dark as it has been, it's also been very enlightening, because part of the thing that was bothering me is I could not understand for the life of me why my divine masculine would allow himself to treat me like this, when I know that that's not who he is, or at least that's, no. I just knew it. I mean, even though he has shown that he is capable of being as my worst nightmare, but there was something just about it that still wasn't sitting right with me. And it was amazing. 1911 now when I'm saying this, 1909 when I started to say this, that there was a person on my job who knows him and knows everybody, and that is the person that probably is at the bottom of all of this. Because all my years working, all my life, one man, if that's what you would call him, had the nerve, the audacity to try to accuse me of sexually harassing his dumbass. And just he's one of those people who, like Trump, right? That people are afraid of them. They can't stand them, but they know that they will go and they'll sue and that they'll, write letters to the mayor's office and all kinds of raggedy things like that. And this is this person. And so he had officers, captains, inmates, everybody shook, right? And I never had a problem with him. I was cool with him until he finally got transferred out of the jails because he couldn't survive in any of the jails because he made enemies everywhere he went with the officers and the supervisors and the inmates. This was like, so they put him outside in SOD, and I was his supervisor. And then it got so bad, the captains and the officers outside couldn't take it, so they ended up putting him in my area, which was the Central Visits House. And he abused a visitor, or a visitor accused him of abusing him with witnesses. And now I got to do an investigation. I'm in all kinds, it's problems. And I had told him when he got there, I said, dude, they're going to use you. You're going to commit suicide and kill me in the interim. I told him that because I already knew who he was. Like I said, I've known him since I was in office. I never worked with him before, but I know him, and in passing. But he was always a smart ass, and like I said, lots of trouble. And he had the department and the city of New York basically shook. So after I had retired, I get notification that this fool is accusing me of sexual harassment. He didn't do that before I left. He did that after I left. And I was in shock. And but I, answered the deposition and all this. But he had charges up against him, and he was trying to intimidate me because he knew that I was going to go to court and tell the truth. I'm not going to lie for him. I know what happened. It's the best of my ability. I'm a supervisor in the area, and this is what I witnessed, and this is what I was told by the visitor. So I don't know what happened. I was told that he had done this because he had gotten fired. I don't know if they reinstated him or not. I didn't care. It wasn't my business. I'm on my new life, right? I'm on to back to my life, being mom and just my life. And so I didn't care. I didn't think anything about it. But I always had the scene in the back of my head that, what, he would hire somebody to watch me, and to stalk me. And I think that's exactly what happened, because after all these years, not seeing his name, not talking about him to anybody, not seeing anything, I opened up the message on my phone, and there was something that was forwarded by another friend, but it's from him, and he had his name on it because he's a narc. So of course you have to know that he's the one who came up with this, and his name is right there. And when I saw that, after I did all of this, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what am I going to do next? Am I going to upload a video about this? Am I going to talk more about this? Whatever. And then my everything has been going good today, and I was doing my prayers, and I was feeling like I had released things. And when I saw the message and I saw the name, and I was like, oh my God. And now it just makes sense. Even setting me up to be raped this year. Yeah, he knows these people. He knows that person. Even my divine masculine and his shenanigans. He knows him. He knows him. And I've always felt that it was some kind of group stalking thing and set up. And that doesn't mean that there aren't women involved in it too, because there are. and I had already identified them. But I was like, what is the common denominator here? And I just figured it out. And so I'm releasing his dumb ass also, because he needs to be released, right? And I will want him to just, whatever it is that he's, whatever his hard on is for me, he needs to go and take care of it, And it's not anything, no sexual on my part, well, I don't know what his motivations are. But he's married, he's got a wife. I don't know if he has children. I don't think, well, I don't know. He was claiming he didn't have children and things like that. He's one of those people who will talk bad about himself and then turn around and say that you said these things about him and that you attacked him. In the actually what you're doing is trying to, cheer him up when he's sitting there, doing the Eeyore. Oh, woe is me, nobody likes me, I'm having this fun, da, 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 da. And when you're trying to encourage him and tell him, no, you're not a bad guy, blah, 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 it's just, these people, you're smart and da, 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 da. Trying to, be empathic, and be, not take sides in the situation that I didn't know things about, just trying to not let him be down on himself, because he was sounding suicidal some of those days. And in return, the thanks I get for that is attacks legally through the city, the department, and I guess when that didn't work, he decided that he was going to be more personal with it. And he had my address and the whole 9 yards, because when they did the lawsuit, they gave him all my information. And I felt that there was someone watching me from time to time. And even the rapist who knows me and was an ex-co-worker, that's why I didn't feel any way about hanging out with them that morning. And rape doesn't always happen at night, folks. It happens any time of day, any opportunity that rapists get. And the rapist even called me back the next day to I guess say that I guess they felt they were giving me some kind of a compliment, about, this is the best sex that they ever had in their life. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm listening to this ass. And then, never heard from him again, and because I blocked him everywhere. And, because I don't think that he realized, he wouldn't have cared anyway. He was sent on a mission and he did it. And I think what happened is he did what he did, but he liked me as a person in the first place, and I think he kind of felt bad for what he had done, and so maybe he told him he wasn't going to, do it again, or he realized that he was a rapist and he better watch his, step and not come back around me, because I would call the police on him again. That type of thing. I don't know, but whatever it was, I realized today, after all of this time, and this thing happened back in January on it happened back in January. And again, it was a situation where, person's telling you, you remind me of the vice president, Kamala Harris, and this and that. Like, okay. But it's not because they think highly of her or they're giving you a compliment. That's what it seems like. But what it is that they hate women who they perceive as powerful or independent or whatever, and so they have to do things to undermine you. And I mentioned this the other night. There's something that happens to people that work on Rikers Island. There's a essence, there's a energy that if you're not well protected, you will fall prey to it. And a lot of these guys and girls, men and women that I worked with, officers, civilians, of course, inmates, their families, challenges, sometimes these energies, the negativity is so heavy. And so there's really nothing, you don't you can't be surprised by anything that they would possibly do. I mean, even to the point where when he got this particular ass inmate officer that I'm talking about, when he got transferred out of my area after he assaulted the visitor, allegedly, they put him in the facility, the one facility he had never been in with the women, and within less than 5 days he had a use of force because he had actually punched a female inmate in the face. And there's one thing about corrections: the women's facility is like the easiest to work at. You know, I mean, women have their challenges because, you know, women, we run our mouths and that kind of stuff. But the level of violence that goes on there is different. You know, different than is dealing in the male jails, especially for male officers. You know, because it's just the way it is. But because he didn't want to be there, he decided to assault one of the inmates and get transferred out, which he had to immediately, right? And where was he going to go? They were going to bring him back to work with me. I wasn't having it. So I don't know what happened, but I know it was ridiculousness, and it was back and forth. Even his union delegates didn't want him back in our command, and where we were working in as outside. So ended up, I don't know what ended up, because within like a month I was already retired. I had had enough of all of the shenanigans. I'd been past my time, and I said, you know, nah, this is not worth it. This is not worth it. Not just because of him, but he was like, him and a couple of other people were like the icing on top of the cake. So I was like, you know what? Time to exit stage left. And that's what I did. And I don't regret it at all. But, you know, there's just men out there who are vindictive. There are men in the world. There are people in the world who want to, you know, for whatever reason, jump on the bandwagon, leave me in a situation where I'm unprotected. And that's what happened. And that's what they did. And I know that he's at the bottom of it now because his name came up as soon as I was like good with this ritual, and I was all happy. And then I looked at my phone and I opened up that message, and I was shocked. Shocked. But not. So, I guess, I don't know, I guess he watches my channel. I know the rapist watches, or used to. So I guess it'll get back to him that I figured it out, and then he would need to be careful, because he would just need to be careful. Not because of me. My Egun do not play. My ancestors, my spiritual protection, they don't play. And when they show me something, they show me something for a reason. And I'm going to continue to do what I'm supposed to do, continue to do my work, you know. Because the last thing that my divine masculine told me is that, oh, well, maybe you need to step away from the tarot. Oh, really? Where'd that come from? Not that I don't know that I need to take a break, because it's just a lot, the energies. But I realized, oh, this is the whole idea. Because then I won't be, they think, because they don't understand that the tarot cards are just tools, right? But to leave me again unprotected. I'm not going to be dealing with you and your monkey ass without having some way to, you know, see what's going on, you know. And besides, this is, uh, uh, this is what I was led to do spiritually, and he knew all about that. He was part of it from the beginning, and he still is. I do this channel for us both, not for, you know. In other words, if my subscribership increases enough and I start to, make some money, it's ours. This is our business. Even though everything is, I set up everything, is because I was doing it while he was, while life was happening to him, because I knew and we had a plan, and it was to be together and to have a business, a legacy that we could leave for our kids. And whether he wants to admit that or not, or whatever, or anybody wants to believe it or not, I don't really give a fuck. But I know what I know, and I know why I was doing what I was doing. Right? I've always been doing readings privately, but when I started, when I was led to upload and start working more on YouTube, he was right there at the, part of it, and has been so. But as of now, as of today, as of this ritual, we are released. He's released, I'm released, they're all released, including this person at the center of this attack. This person who had convinced because of the misogyny and the He-Man Woman Haters Club membership that they have all signed up to. Metaphorically, but it's real. It's real. Constantly trying to undermine you as a woman, that somehow or another, because you're able to take care of yourself and your family, it makes you somehow less of a feminine, less, you're more masculine. But then the women that they get around them who are so feminine, they complain about them all the time, and calling them gold diggers, or calling, saying that they don't do shit, and they want to have control over the people around them, the women in their lives, be it their wives, their daughters, sisters, mothers, whatever, and try to undermine and belittle the abilities of the women around them, because somehow it makes them feel better. And since they are under attack, outside forces, for a lot of black men, and those in other minority communities, but mostly black men, it's the easiest target is a black woman, right? They hate Oprah, they hate Kamala, they will believe any negativity, any lie, they will believe it about, black women. They hate Beyonce, this kind of stuff. Why? What have these people done? They'll listen to every dark thing that they could come up with, but they won't do the research themselves. They'll let other people bring things to them, and then they'll parrot it and repeat it. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired enough of defending myself to have to defend Oprah and Whoopi and Beyonce and all the other women, plus the women in their own lives who they, have these ideas about. And even if I agree with them about certain behaviors, at the end of the day, I could see some reasons why, that some of these women reacted to them the way that they did. So, just because of the energies, and how long are you supposed to put up with somebody's crap, right? Without reacting. Because if you try to be, nice and ignore it, or pray for them and leave it, they just keep going on and on and on and on. And this is not everybody. This is the demons that I have been dealing with, and the women around me have experienced. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. But enough is enough, It's been going on long enough. It's for what ends? What is your purpose? Because you're a masochist and you're a misogynist, and you are a lowlife, and you, And I'm talking not about my divine masculine right now. I'm talking about this asshole, this uh, ringleader, right? the puppeteer behind the stage, the one that's throwing their hands and throwing the rocks and hiding their hands, letting other people get blamed for their bullshit. Probably was picked on in school a lot, real tall, light skin, couldn't tell if he was black or white or whatever the hell he's from. He got a funny name and all of that other stuff. And, when you're a bully or you've been bullied a lot, why not go into law enforcement? That gives you a badge. It makes you think that you're a big man, right? And that's what we're dealing with. That's what I was dealing with. That's what we deal with in general on that job. And if you just come there to do your work, keep your nose clean, and mind your business, they're not going to let you go through like that. They're going to find ways to mess with you. If it ain't the department, it'll be your co-workers, and if not the co-workers, it'll be the inmates. But telling you the truth, the inmates are the last. When they do crazy, violent things. But the day-to-day fucking with you comes from your co-workers and their supervisors. And they know so much. The department even knows how fucked up they are. When you go and complain and you need help for stress, if they allow you to do that, even though you have the coverage and you have the health management division, you're discouraged from going out on stress, because you're not going to get promoted, or they're going to fire you and things like that, because they don't want you to get the help, the assistance that you need in order to be able to survive and do this job. It's like they encourage you to have mental health problems and issues, and put these barriers in front of you in order to make sure that you don't get promoted and you don't move up the ranks unless performing other acts outside of the realm of your job duties. And that's basically what happens. You see certain people in certain positions and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I know who she was doing. Oh, I know what he was doing. It's a joke. But anyway, so today I'm thankful and grateful that information was brought to my attention. So thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Ego. Thank you, angels. Thank you to my spiritual team, my spiritual protection. And now I know exactly where to, how to protect myself from this particular person. And by calling them out. I'm not going to call their name, but I'm going to call them out. They know who they are. If they're watching, them and their minions, their winged monkeys, will get it back to them and say, oh, she figured you out. And the sad thing about it is that this bastard is actually in my family tree by marriage. And I told him that, I was telling him that when I was working, when I said, I'm pretty sure, because he has a very, very unique name. And he was telling me that his grandmother had said something, that made him think that his grandfather was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. And I said, well, why wouldn't you believe her? Oh, she's old, she's crazy. Yeah, okay, because she's a woman, she don't know what her husband did. Are you stupid? Why wouldn't she believe that? And sure enough, he is his if you look up, when I looked it up, it was the truth. And he still, because it was coming from his grandmother. And that's what he said. Well, she didn't like me anyway, or she was this and she was that. I was like, but you were saying that she was lying, and she wasn't lying, And it's not like he couldn't have looked that information up himself. He's a very intelligent person. But Like I said, one of those people. Nothing's ever good enough for them. What is it, like oppositional authority, oppositional type people? Those who oppose anyone in authority. Yeah, okay, that's what he has. And but yeah, he related to my family by marriage. Can you believe that? But we're all related, right? We're all part of the same soul tribe. That's the whole idea. Even your enemies, right? There's some connection. So it may not be a blood relative, but through marriage, they're related. They're part of your tribe. And when it's time to cross paths, you will. And we did. So this is a lesson too about how soul tribes work. So it's not that you have to have known this person, or even your family members may not have known their ancestors in a close way either, but they again part of your tribe. These people that travel with you through different lifetimes, and that's what this is an example of. So the embodiment of negativity this person is for everybody. Everybody. Officers, inmates, supervisors, civilians, everybody. Everybody. Up into the mayor's office, probably to the governor's office, because that's the type of person that he was. He never lets shit go. Never. He's vindictive. And just mad at the world. Mad at the world. Like I said, woe is me, Eeyore. And yeah, I'm talking bad about somebody, and that's not very spiritual of me, but whatever. Whatever. He deserves that much, because there was no reason for all of this. From the beginning, I never did anything to him. Nobody did anything to him. The person that he attacked, the civilian, didn't do anything to him. There's something wrong with him. There's something real wrong with him. Really wrong with him. And I guess whoever wants to address it is afraid to address it, because if you address it, then he does these type of things. It's like dealing with somebody who is like Donald Trump. That type of vindictive nastiness that you can't even show any human kindness to this person. That's what it is. I don't even want to look. I'm sure right now if I Googled his ass, I could find out if his birth. But I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't a Gemini or a Cancer. At all. I wouldn't be surprised. At all. But anyway, that was my experience today. I wanted to share with whoever sees this what I did and how I was able to immediately feel the benefits of it. Like I said, I haven't spoken to my mother in months since she called, and I didn't feel no way about it. And I was actually able to contact my grandchildren. I haven't spoken to them in a few months, and everybody's good. And like I said, my cousin, she was telling me about her adventures and her spiritual growth and ascension. And it's October, so it's a good time for all of these things to come out, right? So, and I know a lot of us are going through this spiritual journey, and we're getting these epiphanies, and we're getting all of this. We're trying to clear ourselves and protect ourselves and heal and move forward. And if this helps anyone, I'll post it. Hopefully it'll help somebody. And if it doesn't help you today or this week, it might help you years from now, long after I'm gone. So, but yeah. Sometimes these attacks don't come directly from who you think it is, but behind the scenes there's all kinds of stuff that could be going on. People hold grudges about things that they made up in their head, but they believe it, so therefore they have to, do something. But I'm not going. I have no need to attack this person. That's why I said I'm not. I just want to protect myself and my energy from them. You know. But I'm gonna release them too, along with all these other men, and just hope that I will not have to deal with this anymore. And if I do, I know that my ancestors are gonna protect me, as they always have, and they always will. Okay, so they want me to get a message, and I'm going to use the Until Today cards by Iyanla Vanzant. Sorry. Oh, that's fine, because it's brand new. Let's see if I have them here. I know I have a box that's already open, as well as the box that that's the box that I ordered. Ooh, okay, maybe not. Perhaps not. Knocking over everything here. I'm so glad that I don't have the camera turned up for you all to see the mess that just happened. But that's okay. Maybe not. Yeah. Where is that deck? I'm going to get that message or something. Give me a second. Oh. No. So tight over here. Excuse me, folks. You know this is spur of the moment. Huh. Okay. Postcards from Spirit. Alright. Let's see what's the message for me and for the collective in regards to releasing and healing. What do our ancestors want us to know? What is the spiritual message? And this is by Colette Baron-Reid. I think I just said that. Postcards from Spirit. For those of you who have never seen these cards before, they're individual postcards, and every one of the messages is ancestors putting in their 2 cents. So they refer to themselves as us, we, they, and they refer to you as you, or our dear one, or dearest one. Oh man, very sweet, very loving. And 414, and that phone rang. So let's get this. You get a message for me and the collective. Thank you, Spirit. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, so let me show you. Let's see. And that little stamp says, Heaven's 2 cents. You are magic. Okay, that's what it says. You are magic. very ethereal, the writing here. So it's hard to see sometimes, but I'm going to read it. Dear you, what is true for you? Can you be impeccable with your word? Sure you can, as long as it's not used to manipulate others. The truth can set everyone free. Let go of the results. Let go of your fears and allow the truth to empower you and others. This will set into motion a kind of change that will be supportive of you and loving and all kinds of prosperous. This is not a time to compromise and hide your truth from others. Whatever it is you want, go for it. And be clear in your motives, especially with yourself. You will be happy. You will be so happy you did. This is a time where you will tap into the power to co-create and manifest your best life. Doesn't that feel amazing? And the results? Miraculous. When you tell the truth and seek the same of others, you can learn a lot from life's bountiful lessons and achieve your dreams. Love you always. So this is the card, and I will hold it here for a second, and maybe you can screenshot it yourself and read it. I'm trying to see if I can make sure it's focused. It's a little weird there. Okay, so that's the message, and that kind of went along with what Spirit was giving me to say earlier, right? So, leave it there. So for you, and for me, you're always loved, right? Speak your truth. It'll empower you, and maybe it'll release others besides releasing yourself. I love it when Spirit does things like that. So I'm going to finish letting that burn, and then I am going to take that and throw it away from the house. I was thinking about flushing it down, but I don't want to flush it down my toilet. I don't want it to be in my pipes or nothing. I want to get it away. So I'll probably take it down to the river and put it in a brown bag, something that's biodegradable, and maybe just throw it into the bay, sitting on the dock of the bay. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. After it all burns and is cooled off, I'll take it and I'll leave it to the sea and just let all of this be washed away. Let the ocean take it away and release us all from all of this, so that we can continue to do our work and continue to uplift each other, uplift ourselves, and to live our best and most happiest and most productive life, doing the most good for as many people as possible. So, thanks everybody for allowing me to share this. I hope it makes sense to you, and we'll be talking to everybody real soon. Peace and blessings. Namaste. Ashe.